This is the future.
To be honest, I enjoyed watching Tennocon this year. It was a treat for me since most of the stuff I envisioned Duviri paradox would come out to be true. There was even one video wherein I made a joke about the Orokin horse turning into a freaking unicorn, and I was laughing out loud when suddenly, that horse grew wings and fly like a freaking Pegasus. It was really entertaining to watch, and right now, I'm very excited about what's to come in Warframe, starting from the next update, then Duviri paradox, and beyond. Before we start this video, a quick shout out to the guys of Digital Extremes for sponsoring this video. This is my second time doing a video for these guys, and I'm hoping for more, just a pun, but in case you need somebody, call me. Jokes aside though, I'm thankful to be part of this big event, and in this video, we will talk about all the important things that have been revealed during Tennocon 2022, along with a few more details, as well as my personal opinion, reaction, and suggestions on the things that might need some polishing to make the next big updates more fun, not just for new players, but also veterans. To begin with, let's talk about crossplay and cross-save. So when will exactly these features arrive in Warframe? I'm really glad that the team did discuss first when will these features come to Warframe. Crossplay and cross-save were teased way back in 2019, and the Warframe community is always asking the developers when will these features finally arrive. While we don't have an exact date, and it's still a prime soon, it's safe to say that we are close, since we did receive a piece of good news that they'll be starting a community testing soon for these features. Presumably, that means a beta of some kind, just like what they did when they revitalized the Railjack system, inviting a few people to play test the said features, and receive some feedback about it. Though it's unclear how many people will have access or how, it's also not entirely clear how soon we're talking about here. Warframe developer Digital Extremes typically don't announce a specific release date for updates until it's very close to done, but I'm just glad that they are working intricately on crossplay and cross-save. While these are neat features, Digital Extremes must ensure that it will run smoothly, or else, it will ruin everything in Warframe, just like what I have said on the horrors of crossplay for Warframe in one of my videos. Then, they tackled Korra Prime with a gorgeous Prime trailer. Korra Prime did arrive first in-game, before they even talk about it, and honestly, compared to her other skins, I would say that the Prime version looks neat, but it can be no better with a few tweaks by our resident fashion framers. There are lots of choices, and I think Korra Prime looks even more gorgeous if you pair it with some Tennocon stuff. In terms of power, Korra is still Korra, and able to whip down enemies, and considered to be one of the best, if not, the best farming Warframe in the game. While I'm not satisfied with the Hystrix Prime, as I think it needs more flair to compete against other meta secondary guns, I still think that it's a straight-up upgrade to the ordinary Hystrix. Galvanized setup is the best with this pistol, and the switching of elements feature is kind of nice in specific scenarios. Like the cold procs can be good to stop an enemy in place, and there's the toxin, heat, and electric that does good damage when paired with other elements in your build like viral or corrosive. While it's not a meta weapon, in my opinion, it still has its uses and it's fun if you don't mind single target guns. Aside from Korra Prime, I love the dual Gear's Prime. There's nothing more to say about this melee weapon but a total shredder since it can melt enemies in seconds. I have posted all the builds for these new Prime stuff in this channel, so go check them out. Also, aside from the sponsorship, Digital Extremes have given me the opportunity to give away one top-tier Korra Prime access, and you have still time to join by simply clicking the link included in the pinned comment below. Next, one of the most requested by the Warframe community will become reality in the future, and that is the Wolf Warframe. I did cover the Wolf Warframe in the past, and I was so keen on seeing a frame in the game. Although I'm kind of sad that Fenra, the wolf frame I was rooting on, did not get picked by Digital Extremes, I'm still happy that the concept turned out to be good. Honestly, I did not know the artist named Joe, and I have to look it up on Google, and it turns out that is the big dog of the Airship Syndicate that made games like the Darksider Genesis. The concept art of the Wolf Warframe also does look menacing, and I can't wait to see it in the action in the game. In addition to this, Digital Extremes and Airship Syndicate have announced a partnership to create a new free-to-play, online, character-based, third-person fantasy action game set in a brand new, original world where adventure with friends is the name of the game. While there's no official name mentioned about the game, a full reveal of the game is planned for the Game Awards 2022 this fall. While I don't know if the game they are teasing on the screen is the actual game they are talking about, I'm kind of excited with this one as I'm a big MMO fanatic. I see a game like Darksiders, with builds, character customization, rare loot gathering, and a lot of fancy skills that will mesmerize your eyes on this game. This is one of those games that I will vigilantly follow from now on. Speaking of new games, Digital Extremes revealed that they are working on a new game. I also covered this thanks to a hint by one member of Team Grind. It was spotted that Digital Extremes were registering a new IP called Soulframe, and I have no idea that it was the real title of the game. I speculated that it was a Soul-like game set in a Warframe universe, and, from the looks of it, I think it's safe to say that my prediction was right. While we don't know the full details, I can see that Warframe, or more specifically, Digital Extremes, had evolved over the years thanks to their long-time running game, which is Warframe. I think Soulframe is a game that was made based on the knowledge they have acquired over the years while putting effort into delivering content to Warframe. From the looks of it, the Soulframe appears to be exactly like the Soul games we love and hate from the Dark Souls series, or even Bloodborne and Sekiro. I see some Sekiro resemblance based on the arms of the protagonist, and the sword fights in this game. The question is, will it be freaking hard as the Soul series? Will it follow the Warframe universe storyline? Will Digital Extremes be finally making endgame boss fights? Well, we will find out soon. If you want to get updated on this game, go check out soulframe.com. If you are too lazy about the puzzle, then here's the answer to that. Also, be sure to sign up so you won't miss any news about this upcoming new game from Digital Extremes. By the way, Steve will be the one who will spearhead the development of the Soulframe. So, who fills the pants of Steve now? Well, Space Mom, of course. It was a beautiful moment when Steve passed the pink shorts to Rebecca, and now, Space Mom is the anchor of the Warframe team, while Steve starts his new journey with other new Digital Extremes games, such as Soulframe. Now, I see a lot of mixed opinions about this, and others are saying that this is good for the game, while others are saying that Space Mom has big shoes to fill. Honestly, I think she will do fine, and remember that Rebecca is not new to the game, and has been part of the development of Warframe for years. On top of that, she is the one who is closest to the Warframe community, which is why I think that is a good thing for us players, since Space Mom knows what we want, and she also knows what is good for the game. Also, it's not easy handing over a big job, and I think Steve knows that Rebecca is the most suited for the job as creative director. Also, they have teased the 50th Warframe named Styanax. Not much has been revealed in terms of the abilities, but it looks like we finally getting a gladiator-type Warframe also. This is another most requested concept art of the Warframe community, and I'm glad that Digital Extremes listened to their fans who want to cosplay as a Spartan in Warframe. While I don't know yet how the Warframe will turn out, it's safe to say that this Warframe may use an exalted spear as his weapon, or have an exalted shield based on the animated trailer, or maybe, he can summon different types of exalted weapons like sword, whip, spear, shield, or even an axe. If that happens, then it would be super busted that it will get nerfed before release. I'm just kidding. It would really be cool DE. Just saying. Now, before we get the Duviri Paradox update, we will get one update connected to the new war, and it is called Veilbreaker Update. To be honest, I think that the new war update was missing a lot, not just on the story part, but also post-content or those activities and rewards that we can get after doing the new war quest. The Veilbreaker is the post-new war content that is missing, and it seems that it will bring back our favorite Grenier, Cal, as a playable character. Also, it looks like they are bringing back Korra as a villain, but only this time, it seems that he became an Archons himself. There's also an interview done by VG247 that reveals that DE is doing another tier of sorties that bring the Archons back for a weekly content type of sorties. Week 1 will be Amar, Nera would be the next week, and you'll have all week to take them down in their weekly sortie, which will be in their designated area. In addition, you're only going to be matched with other players that are in that difficulty tier to engage with the Archon content. I'm happy that finally, we get an updated sortie, since, after the Steel Path update, this activity was left behind and was like lost in the void. And lastly, the big reveal is Duviri paradox. First of all, I love that there are Orokin goats in the game. I love that there's a freaking unicorn that you can ride, an Orokin dragon that you can fight, and most importantly, based on what I have seen, I love that we get to see yet another different open world experience out of Duviri paradox. This open world is not the typical Warframe open world, as it focuses mainly on Drifter and Operator gameplay. The expansion will see players taking the Drifter, possibly sometime in their past, through a Duviri, a strange, near-colorless realm in the void where they're trapped in an endless cycle. They can't die but they can't escape. Duviri is ruled over by Dominus Thrax, a king whose very mood shapes the world each day and the person keeping the Drifter there. I'm kind of curious who Dominus Thrax is, as I'm having this feeling that I think I know this new character based on his characteristics. Somehow, I'm getting man-in-the-wall vibes on Dominus Thrax, and maybe, he's that creep who always jump scares us and say hey kiddo in our ship. I'm also curious that Duviri paradox is some sort of a time-looping open world, so I'm curious that if there's a version of Unrescued Tenno, which is the Drifter, do we get to see more versions of our space kid in this paradox? Also, the Duviri paradox black and white visuals lend the expansion a feeling of an almost dreamlike state. They might lull you into a false sense of security until your Drifter gets offed by a dragon, say, only to be revived like it was never real. The Drifter carries a weapon on their arm that can alter the surroundings, injecting color into them in the process. Well, that's Space Mom's hands, so it can probably do wonders. It's like foreshadowing the future of Warframe. Duviri paradox is Warframe right now, and Rebecca's hands will add color to the game. There was also an old version of Teshin who handed us his dual Nikana to use in battle against one of those Orokin guards, but before that, there's a hint that we could revive those stone Warframes and pilot them maybe in the plains of Duviri, so Duviri paradox might not be as exclusive for Drifter and Operator gameplay as we have thought. And then, the melee fight between the Orokin guard and our Drifter. It's great that Digital Extremes are expanding the arsenal of the Drifter, and I hope that we can see more of this on the Duviri paradox. From what I have understand from the gameplay reveal, you will be tasked to complete some sort of quests, and each time, after completing it, you will be rewarded with new powers, and I hope within the line, we can see the Drifter having his own set of powers and arsenal, different from our Operator. The good part about this is you don't need to finish the new war to play Duviri paradox. In the chronology, technically the Duviri paradox happened first. But it also didn't, because then the new war couldn't have happened, so it's a very fun paradox. It's not just for the story, as the time-bending nature will allow players to play the Duviri paradox even if they've not reached Warframe's later content. After the reveal, I think that Duviri paradox is not just the story of Operator and Drifter, but it's an update that will somehow bridge the past and future of Warframe, and with Space Mom on the helm, I think the future of Warframe is secured, and we will see more great updates after the Duviri paradox. To learn more about Duviri paradox, go check out the link I have provided in the pinned comment below. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.